blocked away by Nico Melli. Jackson Hayes all the way to the rack.
Drew said, okay, I'll take it from you.
Drew Holiday deserves it. He's up to 27.
What's up, Pelicans fans? Welcome into another edition of Pelicans Preview presented by Smoothie King. I'm Caroline Gonzalez. We are getting things kicked off for you right here on Pelicans Preview as your Pelicans approach the game this afternoon against the San Antonio Spurs at 2 p.m. You can catch that game coming up next on Fox Sports New Orleans. All right, it's time now to welcome in our guest for today's show, radio voice for the Pelicans, Todd Graffagnini. Todd, last night you had your first Jackson Hayes highlight. How has the restart gone for you so far?
It's been a process, definitely, Caroline. It's getting used to calling a game on a monitor, but after a few just kind of rusty moments, I think me and John DeShazer have really gotten back into the flow of things. We're never going to get used to calling a game on a monitor. There's nothing like being in the building with fans and the whole NBA experience. But like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, everybody's in the same boat and you just have to make do. But I think now we're 8 games in when you're including the scrimmages. So we're feeling pretty comfortable about things. Now we just got to get some more wins.
Obviously, you've been watching Pelicans basketball because you've been calling the games, but any NBA fan has been watching these games, and obviously the NBA has done an outstanding job making these games seem as real as possible. Are there any teams, Todd, that have stood out to you while you've been watching them?
Well, first of all, before we talk about individual teams, I've just really been impressed with the competitiveness with all the teams, especially when you go into it, Caroline, and you're thinking about, you've got all the teams in the bubble that are already in the playoffs. Now, of course, the bottom of the Western Conference, we're in that fight for the play-in. When you're talking about individual teams, I don't know how you can't talk about the Phoenix Suns first and foremost. They were pretty much a throw-in when you're talking about going into the bubble. We'll let Phoenix in. We'll let them get their games. Well, now all of a sudden, they are firmly in the mix. They have not lost yet as we're taping this. And, they are an absolute threat to get into the playoffs. So that is really the number one surprise. Number two, I did not expect the Memphis Grizzlies to pretty much crater the way that they have. And, if they're not careful, they're going to play their way out of this thing. Now, I know they got a big win yesterday, but still, that was the team with a lot of momentum heading into Orlando. And, Portland is, basically in their rearview mirror right now. So those are, to me, the biggest surprises in the bubble so far.
All right, before we get into this afternoon's game, let's get you caught up on the last game. The Pelicans took on the Washington Wizards on Friday night. Now, the team was without rookie sensation Zion Williamson. It was the second game of a back-to-back, so the team decided to not play him, but have no fear. Pelicans leader Drew Holiday led the charge. Holiday had 28 points and led the team to victory over the Washington Wizards. Let's go ahead and look at highlights from Friday night.
Zion Williamson has not played in back-to-back games all season long, and so it was that the star rookie was sitting out, resting against the Washington Wizards on Friday. But if you want a rookie rocking the rim, Jackson Hayes is willing to fill the role as he hammers that one home. All right, Drew Holiday now, schooling another rookie, Rui Hachimura, as he swipes it from him and heads the other way, layup and one. Game tied at 41. Hachimura on the tail end of his rookie season. It's been a good one. He had 23 in this game. Washington will score the ball, and they were up by 2. Ish Smith showing off the handles. Drops it to Thomas Bryant for 2 of his 22. Wizards up by 2 with the break. But the Pelicans go on a 22-4 run in the third quarter. First, it's Holiday bullying his way to the hoop. Brandon Ingram to J.J. Redick for 3. Didn't shoot the ball well, but had 15. And then Holiday in the post spins off the defender for 2 of his 28. How about Nico Melli? Speaking of rookies, transition 3. Pelicans up by 7. Brandon Ingram, they wind up most improved player. Just 4 of 15 in this one. He had 17 points, but the Pelicans pulling away. Derek Favors rebound, goes up strong with the two-hand dunk. He had a double-double, 12 and 10. Pelicans win. The Wizards are eliminated from playoff contention, which means the Orlando Magic take the final spot in the East.
All right, we just saw the highlights from Friday night's game against the Washington Wizards. Let's bring back in Todd to get his takeaways from that game. Todd, obviously some key performances from the young players on the Pelicans roster. What were your takeaways from that game?
Well, look, in the first half, you're thinking, oh my goodness, not again. It was almost like a continuation of the Sacramento game the night before, where the opposition was just shooting lights out. There was really no defense. We continued to turn the ball over, and we were just kind of plodding along. But I tell you, that third quarter against the Wizards, that's when it really turned around. And those bench guys, and you touched on it, Caroline, my Paisan, Nico Melli, was huge off the bench. Frank Jackson had another solid game. And look, those guys really sparked. And, of course, Josh Hart. I mean, you can't go a game without talking about Josh Hart. They turned it up defensively. And John DeShazer and I talked about it during the broadcast. Imagine what can happen when you actually get some stops. And that's what the Pelicans did in the third quarter. 37-25 was the total. The Wizards couldn't make a bucket. You were out in transition. You were getting easy buckets on the fast break. But what Nico Melli did, when you're talking about, first of all, he had been slumping so badly shooting a three. He was 1 for 14 from three prior to the Wizards game. He had 2 big threes. He had 3 block shots all in that third quarter. He started picking up the guards in the backcourt as far as running full court pressure, which really helped. He brought the energy, and I think everybody fed off of that. And that's why we named him player of the game on the radio. And it was good to see, because he had really been struggling in Orlando. But those bench guys was the spark, and hopefully that will give them the confidence to continue the rest of the way.
Yeah, Frank Jackson looked outstanding. But Todd, I'm about to make your day. The only person I know that listens to 24/7 talk radio is you. Guess who just announced that they are coming out with a podcast? Nico Melli. Yep.
Paisan.
You are welcome, my friend.
Awesome. I got to figure out how to say awesome in Italian.
All right, time now to switch gears into today's game against the San Antonio Spurs. Todd, obviously both teams today are going to be fighting for that 8 and 9 spot because of that play-in series. But Todd, going into today's game, what are your keys for the Pelicans to come out with a W?
Well, Caroline, the keys to this game, I think, is just continue to defend as we saw in the second half of the Wizards game. I mean, that's really been the key. The Pelicans, it's been a roller coaster ride when you're talking about playing defense. You know, against Utah, held them near 100, not able to win the game, but you were still in it. Don't want to talk about what happened against the Clippers. You talk about what happened against the Memphis Grizzlies, hold them to under 100 points, you win the game. Don't want to talk about what happened against the Sacramento Kings. You know what happened there. You talk about what happened against the Washington Wizards. You defend them, you win the game. I think it's pretty obvious. The Pelicans can play defense. We're going to get scoring. I think the Pelicans offense right now is starting to hit their stride. And when it gets going, it's pretty darn good. But you've got to defend, and you must continue to stop the turnovers. The Pelicans really hurt themselves turning the ball over. Got away with it against the Wizards. Can't do that against the Spurs. I don't know if it's in a technical sense, but this is pretty much an elimination game. I think the loser, you can forget even a play-in type of situation. So this is immense here this afternoon. Of course, San Antonio kind of ruined the event the night Zion Williamson came back on January 22nd. It's been interesting watching the Spurs, Caroline. This is the first time we have played them since that night in January. And look, they're riding a 22-year consecutive playoff streak. But they have gone into the bubble really, they've talked about it, but they really don't care. Greg Popovich wants to get these young Spurs action, and we're really seeing it. Patty Mills did not play the other day in their win. So they're just playing young guys, but you know what? They're still successful. And right now, they're pretty much dead even with the Pelicans. So, they've had a different hero every day, but they're really like a cockroach in a nuclear winter. They never, ever, ever go away. And it's, you got to battle. And of course, you got Rudy Gay also coming off the bench, who has been a Pelican killer.
All right, we'll hear more from Todd in just a bit, but now it's time to hear from the team. Let's go inside the NBA bubble for our Sound Up, presented by Beats by Dre.
One of the things that we wanted to get back to is being aggressive defensively, attacking the screening roles, being into the ball.
I just think being aggressive and not making it easy for the opponents is something that will definitely benefit us.
I think we need to remind ourselves to have that same intensity on defense and keep rolling and keep knocking these games out.
Important that the bench, cheer for the team and gives energy. We need to bring the sparks that maybe the fans give us in the games.
He brings some energy on the defensive end where he's guarding full court and him and Frank are guarding full court and they cause some disruption.
When we apply the pressure and get up into people and pick them up, it causes problems.
We know what we have to do. We need to take care of business. And to do that, we need to play with energy and win games.
Great stuff there. All right, let's bring back in Todd for one of our favorite segments. It is our Twitter takeover fueled by Chevron. Todd, this is where our fans get to ask you some questions. You ready for them?
I live for this, Caroline.
All right, this first one comes from Robbie Jordan. Who should we be rooting for in other games for the Pelicans to have a shot at the playoffs?
All right, it's very simple. Whoever is playing against Memphis, whoever is playing against Portland, and whoever is playing against San Antonio, and whoever is playing against Phoenix. Pretty simple.
All right, on to this next one from Craig Lavecchio. What should we expect from Zion's minutes in Sunday's game?
Well, I would expect it's going to ramp up a bit. He played 22 minutes against Sacramento and obviously could have gone in more if the game was not out of hand. He was really in control. He had 24 points in 22 minutes. So they have been increasing his minutes as he has come back. So I would think he would be anywhere in the 25 to 28 range. I don't think he's ever going to get in the 32, 33 range where he was before March 11th. But without question, he was going to play more against Sacramento if the game was not that far apart. So I would think anything in the mid 20s to very upper 20s below 30.
All right, this next one comes from Amanda Juno. Todd, I don't know if you saw in the game against the Wizards, but Drew Brees was in the stands as a virtual fan. No, I'm just kidding. There was a goat in the stands. Amanda Juno wants to know, what's the story behind the goat in the virtual crowd, Todd?
I did see the goat. I really don't know what the story was. I was kind of distracted myself because I saw my wife and my daughter in the front row in the virtual fans behind our bench. But, it is New Orleans, Caroline, so expect the unexpected. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a nutria in one of these next couple of games when we're the home team. So, look, it's New Orleans. It's all about character. And, yes, maybe we'll get Drew Brees as a virtual fan in the next couple games.
All right, this next one comes from Drew Williams. I think I know the answer to this one. Who has been the most underrated, important player to the Pelicans this season?
Who do you think? It's not a coincidence. When my paisan Nico Melli is successful, the Pelicans are successful. Again, I'm just really happy that he kind of broke out against Washington. But it's true. If he's out on the perimeter and he's making shots, that increases space for everybody else. And, when he's not making shots, it becomes pretty difficult. And again, I'm not putting everything on him, but that's the way it was when the Pelicans were really successful in February and in early March. And it just takes a lot of pressure off everybody else, especially when he defended the way that he did against the Washington Wizards. So, I had to go to it. He's my guy, Nico Melli.
All right, nice job there, Todd. Let's go inside the NBA bubble for this edition of the Bubble Beat, as rookie Zion Williamson had a sense of generosity inside the bubble. He gifted each one of his Pelicans teammates a pair of Beats by Dre. Mine is, I think, lost in the mail, but I'll wait for it as long as it takes. All right, let's go inside this edition of the Bubble Beat.
What's up, everybody? Zion Williamson here. I got some camo beats for my teammates. Let's go deliver them. And it's super dope. I'm just grateful that I'm the one that gets to give them the dope headphones. What's up, fam? What's up, my guy? Just wanted to, bless you with some Beats Studio 3 wireless camo edition. You feel me?
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, though. You good?
Good, man. You enjoy those, bro.
This is tough. Camo?
Swaggy as usual. Okay. I'm cozy, but he swaggy as usual.
Support the cause.
Serious question. Why is he fitting up though? Did he go somewhere? What's up, man? I just want to stop by and give you some camo edition beats, man.
Aw, thanks, buddy.
Just had to look out.
Appreciate it, my good man.
Be safe in there, bro. What's up, vet? Just wanted to drop off some camo editions, Beat Studio 3 for you, bro.
Appreciate that, man. Way to take care of your dad, man. Appreciate that, brother. That's big, man. I need these too.
Wow, you enjoy those. Now you can get back to your phone call, bro.
Appreciate that, man. You're a good brother, man. I'm telling everybody. Let everybody know.
All right, great stuff there from the rookie phenom. Again, tip-off is coming up next on Fox Sports New Orleans. You can catch the Pelicans playing the Spurs at 2 p.m. All right, it is time now for our Who's Got Next, presented by Hancock Whitney Bank. Todd, the Pelicans will take on the Sacramento Kings. We know that was a tough matchup last time for the Pelicans. What are your keys going into that game for the Pelicans?
Oh, the wounds are still fresh, Caroline. The Sacramento Kings game. I got a very simple key. Very simple. Don't give up 49 points in the first quarter. You kind of hold them under 49, you're already ahead in the game. Seriously, just defend. We know exactly what they're going to try to do. Stay out on the perimeter, shoot threes, and let De'Aaron Fox drive. You got to take a little pride defensively. We heard it from everybody after the game. Just bring the energy. Just give it. Look, Sacramento is not a good defensive team. I think we saw that the other night. The Pelicans shot 57% against the Sacramento Kings and scored 125 points. That should be good enough. You can't give up 140. Stop the Kings from scoring 49 in the first quarter.
I'm sure our audio people love you, Todd. A very passionate response from Todd Graffinini, radio voice for the Pelicans. All right, Todd, good luck on the call this afternoon, and we'll catch up later.
Can't wait. Thanks, Caroline.
All right, that does it for this edition of Pelicans Preview presented by Smoothie King. We'll be doing these Pelicans previews for all of the seeding games. Our next one will be Tuesday evening. I'll be joined by radio color analyst for the Pelicans, John DeShazier, prior to the Pelicans game against the Sacramento Kings. Yes, that is right. The Pelicans take on the Sacramento Kings again. Hopefully the result is a little bit different this time. All right, don't forget, tip-off is coming up at 2 p.m. You can watch the Pelicans play the San Antonio Spurs on Fox Sports New Orleans. Let's get you fired up for this tip-off coming up next from our friends at SeatGeek. Let's go.
Yes, Frank Jackson will. Yes, sir. Nico. You got it. You asked for it. He's got it. You take this ball. You got it. Took the rookie to school. Jackson Hayes all the way to the rack.